What's up, guys? So today we're gonna do a sample cut. Last time I cut my hair myself was like 8 years ago. So we're gonna do number 5 on top all around and do a taper in the back, taper on the sides. So let's go. Let's begin. Make sure you try to hit all the angles, go up and down, sideways, all around, so it's all even. Making sure with the small brush to remove all the excess hair left behind. Go over again with the clipper, so that way everything is left even and you don't leave any baby hairs. Alright, so this is going to be our baseline. We're going to set this with whatever trimmers you have at home, and we're going to begin our taper. Alright, so we're going to begin our taper, and now with our blade open, we're going to set our first guideline. Okay, so now with our number 1 guard open, we're going to set in our second baseline. So normally what I like to do is I like to spread out the taper. This is just a rough draft to get started, and then we're going to go back and blend in whatever lines we left behind. Alright, now with the number 2 guard open, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to the top and we're flicking out, making sure you don't dig too deep in, so you don't leave any patches. Just like so. Alright, so as you can tell, this is just a rough draft. We're going to go back and hit all the detail work. Alright, so now with my blade open, no guard, I will start to work my way down by closing the lever little by little till I get to the bottom. And as I close the lever, make sure you're also working your way down. As you work up, you open the lever so you don't leave any harsh lines. Now with my half guard halfway open, I will start to blend in from the bottom up, and as I work my way up, I will open the lever till it's fully opened. So as you could tell, I'm flicking out at the top. I have the clipper at a 45-degree angle, making sure I don't leave any hard lines or any patches. Alright, so now with our number 1.5 guard open, we're going to flick out at the very top where we see the bulk, making sure we don't go too high up. So now with my number 2 guard open, we're going to do the same thing, just clean up all that bulk. Alright, so now with the shaver, we're going to clean up the bottom part of the taper. I normally like to do this in between, not at the very end, so that way we start to see how the taper and the blend starts to look like. Some people do it at the end. I like to do it most of the time at the beginning or at the middle. Alright, so now with my half blade halfway open, we're going to start to do some detail work, and as I work my way down, I will start to close the lever till it's completely closed. Don't forget to use the corners of your clipper, since it makes it easier to blend. Alright, so from here on out, you're going to see a lot of open and close. I will be opening and closing the lever using the half guard and a number 1 guard. Alright guys, so something that I left out, I'm holding a mirror in front of me with my left hand just so I can see all the details. Alright, so now we're going to work on my right side, and we're pretty much going to repeat the same steps. Alright guys, so normally what I like to do when I have my guideline set, I like to open the lever halfway, whether I'm using the half guard, the one, or the blade open itself, just to get a feel for the hair, so I can make sure I don't cut more than I'm supposed to. And if I feel like it's not really cutting, then I'll start to close the lever. Alright guys, so now with my 2 guard open, I go a little bit behind the ear. I notice I left a little bit of bulk, so I'm cleaning that up on both sides. Alright, so now for my lineup, I normally like to start from the middle and work my way to the right and then to the left. Alright, so for my lineup, I try to leave it as clean as possible. I try not to push it back too much, just enough to where you can see it. Alright, so I noticed I left a few lines on both sides, so I'm just going back and touching up any imperfections left behind. Remember, I did the exact same strategy, which is opening and closing the lever and using whatever guards were needed to get that blurry fade. Alright, so I normally like to start by edging both sides of the nape area, making sure my foundation is nice and neat, and then I start to create my first baseline with the trimmer. Okay, so now that my baseline has been created, with my number 1 guard open, I will create the first guideline about 2 fingers width up from the baseline. Alright, so this part is very crucial. Make sure you're brushing off all that excess hair left behind. That way you have full visibility of what you're doing. Alright, so now with the blade open, I'm creating the second guideline about a finger's width up. Alright, so now with the lever completely closed, I will be attacking the first baseline that I created with the trim open. Remember to use your clipper at a 45-degree angle and flicking at the top. Alright, so now with my 1.5 guard completely open, I will start to clean up the bulk left behind where we finished with the 1.5. Alright, so now with the number 2 guard open, we're doing the same thing. We're following up where we left with the 1.5 guard, just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Alright, so now we're going to start the detail work from the bottom up. So with our half guard open, I will first open the lever and work my way down, and as I work my way down, I will start to close the lever and start to use the corners so I don't create another harsh line. Alright, so now with my number 1 guard open, I will do the same thing. I will first go up and work my way down by closing the lever depending on where it is needed. Alright guys, so I will be going back and forth in between guards just to make sure I don't leave any harsh lines and we get this taper looking as clean as possible. Alright, so now we're just cleaning up a little bit, making sure we get everything nice and perfect. OCD with it. Alright, so now with the shavers, we're just going up, making sure we don't go too high so we don't leave any additional lines. Alright guys, so you could say we were pretty much done here. Now I know I'm not the only one. Anytime that I cut my hair, I always try to leave it as perfect as possible. So we're just going back and checking if there's any imperfections that were left behind and touching those up. Alright, so there was a line that was bugging me that I could not take out. So normally when that happens, you have to go shorter. So what I ended up doing is grabbing my clipper with no guard halfway open and just working my way up. As I work my way up, I start to open the lever and it starts to blend into the top. So it's looking good. Alright, so now with our straight razor, we're going to clean up all the lines so we could get everything nice and crispy. Alright, so normally what I like to do with my opposite hand, I stretch out the skin to the opposite direction, and that normally makes it easier to shave. Alright, so now with my beard pen, I also like to use this for the lineups. It makes it stand out. So starting at the bottom of the C cup, working my way up. Then with the brush, I brush that out a little bit and I touch it up again with my razor blade. So that makes it look a little bit more crispy. Alright, so now with the razor blade, we're going to clean up the neck area to remove all that excess hair so everything looks nice and sharp. Alright, so now we're going to shave. So what I like to do is leave my brush in hot water for a minute or so, and that helps it to create a thick layer of foam. Once it's set on the skin, you leave it on your skin for about a minute or two, so that way there's moist on the skin and it's easier to shave. Alright guys, so this is the before. And this is the after. So what do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with the results. It's looking pretty spiffy. So let me know what you guys think. You already know what to do. Hit that notification bell, the like button, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.